Nobody can escape death. We are oftentimes reminded of this harsh reality when we stroll through a graveyard or receive news about a relative's death. Death is one of the things that is certain for all human beings. Throughout the ages, people had different methods to cope with death while being uncertain of what happens afterwards. The unnamed photo that I chose was taken by Mobley Marley, and it shows a non-traditional graveyard with walls made up of skeletons and a cross inside the grave. The skeletons are uniquely spaced in between the walls, while the rest of the bones are stacked on top of each other all the way up to the roof of the graveyard. When we understand that these human remains once used to be living people with dreams and aspirations, we can understand some aspects of how they lived their lives, used religion, and dealt with death. These once living people had to understand and use religion in their lives to give them hope to deal with the uncertainty of death like we have to do in our time. These skeletons were humans who were born just like us. Even though they're compiled into a wall of bones in the picture, they used to be children just like we used to be at some time. As they grew, they most likely learned about religion through their parents, extended family members, and community. Throughout their lives, they most likely went to religious gatherings and shared common religious views. In order to completely understand this picture, we have to relate to the common goals that all humans share. The skeletons itself are binary opposites which symbolize past life versus present death. The binary opposition of past life is essential because we can relate to these humans who once used to walk the earth like we do today. These once living humans lived through the same experiences that we experience today, like pain, happiness, and joy. In the wall of skulls, there are men, women, and maybe even children. Their lives were interconnected with each other. Two skeletons that are close to each other could have been a husband and a wife. Their dream could have been to raise a family like many couples today. The way the remains are buried in the photo shows a lot about their community values. The people of the community believe that they should be buried together. The remains were buried together and placed on top of each other to make up walls. This is a very interesting repetition that shows that the community shared many common customs and traditions. If we relate to the remains as much as possible, we can relatively understand their past life to some extent. If we see the common experiences that we share with these remains, we can go on to analyze how they handled religion and death. Religion has been around since the beginning of civilizations. This is because religion has been an answer to a lot of our questions. The dead in this photo also had to use religion to hopefully never die in spirit, even though their bodies wither away with time. One very important observation in this picture is the cross. The cross in the graveyard symbolizes that most of the dead were Christians. We do not know what kind of Christians they were. The cross is put in a central place to symbolize the importance of Christianity. The cross itself seems like it is made skillfully with expensive material so that it can be durable. An interesting observation is that the cross, which symbolizes life, is a binary opposite to the skulls shown in the picture, which represent death. Since Christianity is symbolized by the cross, the community thought that it is essential to leave a Christian symbol at the graveyard to represent what the dead believed in while they were alive. The people hoped to gain life after death through religion. This means that the dead could be living in an afterlife that they believed in when they were alive, even though they are dead now. When the dead were still alive, they were exposed to the Christian values and beliefs. They believed that if they believed in Christ and lived a good life, they would go on to eternal afterlife. They had a choice between eternal death and eternal life. One of the greatest aspects of religion is that belief can offer a believer the possibility of eternal life. Many of the dead probably went to religious gatherings and ceremonies because of their belief. The dead used religion in hopes of attaining an afterlife in order to face the uncertainty of death, which was sure to come. Religion gave the people an option to believe in eternal life and defeat death, which can be religiously symbolized by the cross. Death is the one experience that is guaranteed for everyone, regardless of race, religion, or belief. Death is a significant repetition in the photo, symbolized by the skulls. After death, our remains will look like the bones and skulls on the wall. After death, different people in different cultures and religions are put to rest in various ways. It could be in a coffin, or the remains could be incorporated into a wall like this picture. In any case, death is met with grief and sadness by loved ones. The family members of the dead in the picture probably grieved over the loss of their loved ones, like we do when we lose our loved ones. One of the strangest things about death is that nobody knows what lies afterwards. Is there an afterlife or a religious utopia which can be attained through good life on the earth? Or is death the finality of our life? Unfortunately, no living person knows the answer to that question. We are left with our own choices and decisions, like the dead in the photo. The photo shows the battle between faith and doubt. The photo also portrays religion and death as binary opposites. Religion requires faith, while the uncertainty of what happens after death is always clouded by doubt. The dead had a choice to believe in an afterlife or not. The cross in the graveyard indicates that most of the dead once used to be Christians. Religion gave the believers a way to cope with death on their own terms and hope for something better. The picture shows the viewer about religion, life, and death. When we relate to the life that the dead once had, we can infer or assume, based on the cross, that the dead used religion as a way of dealing with death. Death is the binary opposite of life and religion. The dead hope to conquer death by using religion in their lives. The ultimate realization in this picture is that the skeletons and the cross are very applicable to our own lives. We are enjoying the same feelings and emotions that the dead once used to. We have to deal with the challenges and promises of religion like our fellow dead. Ultimately, one day we will have to deal with death itself. The human remains on the walls used to be humans like us. Therefore, they had the same feelings and felt the same emotions. When they were alive, they were introduced to religion. These individuals had to deal with faith, doubt, and disbelief like humans do today. Even though we do not have the answer to what lies after life, we should approach religion and the way we live by the knowledge that even we cannot escape death. The cross in the graveyard symbolizes one way to prepare for or deal with death. Religion is the most common way to deal with the seemingly final end to one's bodily state.